There's multiple things that are interesting about these rankings. Both SI and ESPN did it, and it's good fodder, and it gives us stuff to talk about. But really, it comes down to this. It's impossible to rank Jayson Tatum much higher than this. You can spit out 10 names without even blinking that are clearly the upper echelon players that you're hoping Tatum would get to. I actually think the gap between 10 and 15 is actually really fairly wide. Those 10 stars are like, oh man, I wish, and that's what you want Tatum to get to. And that's what you want Tatum to get to. And you're waiting for that year. We said at the beginning of last year when Tatum was ranked 11th on the ESPN list, right on the cusp of that top 10, like, whoa.
We asked the question, would he be in the top 10 the following year?
Can he get there? We don't have the ESPN number. We have an SI 13. I find it hard to believe that Tatum could crack the top 10. He didn't make all NBA.
No, he won't. And I'm pretty sure I predicted that he wouldn't. But I didn't say it was like, oh, he's going to be awful. It just means like it's not easy to be a top 10 player like at that point in your career.
Top 15, yeah.
But
I think I said it would depend on how much they win, and they didn't win nearly as much as they needed to win.
And they get dinged for that. Even if you thought he was slightly better at the end of the year, at the end of the day, I can't say last year's Jayson Tatum was markedly different than the year before. Overall, he might have made some slight improvements, but he needs to take another step to get into that elite conversation, or else they're not going anywhere. They'll never be a championship caliber team. The whole point of talking about these things is it goes as far as Brown and Tatum take it, and everybody likes Tatum and Brown, but as the 15th and the 25th best players in the league as your top two pair without much support behind it, that team's never getting to the finals. These guys have to be 7 and 12, 7 and 15 to be a duo that carries you on their own. They have to be that good to be able to carry you. So you need another, as good as they are, you need another level from them to take another leap. So maybe this is the year.
Well, the thing that gets frustrating about the All-NBA thing is like the whole positions that still ended up playing it. Like you'd rather have Tatum than Gobert, right?
Yes.
You'd probably rather
we already know
Tatum.
John's answer to that.
Yeah.
You'd rather have him than
Smart.
You'd rather have him than Kyrie, I think.
Yeah. What's your point?
So I'm saying like that's what got tricky there with the All-NBA.
Is Kyrie? Okay, gotcha.
I do think Tatum's pretty firmly gonna be top 15 going forward for the foreseeable future, just off his importance in terms of the position he plays and his two-way abilities here. It's just when you look at and I know we don't have the top 10 in front of us, but we know who's on it. Like your Jokic's, your LeBron's, your Giannis's, all these different guys, KD, they handle the ball at such a high level. They create at the highest level. And that's still like he's waiting at the door. He's trying to get into this top 10. He was sitting there last year. He was sitting there again this year, even though I did think at the end he made major strides. But he didn't make it in that one area that the team really needed him to for them to be productive as a unit. And I do actually think this is probably a fitting spot for him. Like, it's hard to argue for him over even like a Jimmy Butler still, because Butler just has that innate ability to make everybody around him better. And that's still what carries him at the highest level on this list, is the facilitating. And Tatum, like, it's so tricky this year because is he even going to have less of an opportunity to do that this year? I know that Ime wants to put the ball in his hands more, but they also have more point guards and more guys that can do it around him. Like, I don't know if Tatum's ever going to get to that level where he's getting 7, 8, 9 assists a game like a LeBron, like a KD. Like
I don't think he needs to.
Top of the list.
I don't think he needs to.
You don't think that's what he needs to get into the top 10?
No. I think Tatum needs to be just 10% better at all the things he already does really well. He just has to. Yeah, I just think he has to
do that next year.
That's all I think. I think Tatum has
10%
to be.
10% is not a little number when you're doing what he's already doing.
That's what I mean. Is like he's got to be at 30 a game. He can't have those nights where he just doesn't take, where he disappears, where he doesn't take a shot for periods of time, where he's just settling for the easy way out. He has to be a bulldog. Give me the ball and get the F out of my way scorer consistently. There's too many games where he just looks like he shrinks to the moment or just lets other stuff happen and passively. He's just got to be He's got to be unstoppable. That everyone's saying he gets a little more muscle. He refines a couple things. He gets to the line a little bit more, and he's just a problem. He has to be a god. We got to play this guy, and we know he's going to light us up for 35 every time you play him. And he's actually close.
I think he's coming into the year with a little chip on his shoulder too.
I do too.
He thinks he's a little disrespected on a national scale. I mean, even down to his 2K score, I think, or his rating in 2K. Like, I think,
and he's got to be a better defender.
There's little things that you hear that he's kind of feels like he's been on the short end. So I think he's going to come in with something to prove. I hope that translates to wins, because at the end of the day, that's really what people want. And I would expect. Yeah, I would expect definitely a better year and a more consistent year out of Tatum. And the other thing that we hadn't mentioned, and we usually at some point do, is the COVID season kind of screwed with him a little bit. It definitely took him out of his rhythm, and he had a little bit of a longer recovery than some people did. And hopefully that's a thing in the past, and that doesn't come back.
Right.
For him.
But I do think there's a good comment here I just wanted to mention. I agree with this wholeheartedly. I think the playmaking stuff is vastly overrated. Like, every time we watch Durant play, we're like, that's what I want. And it doesn't mean.
But we've talked about how he's not Durant.
I'm saying it's hard to be Durant because nobody's Durant. He's arguably a top 3 all-time NBA player. So number 3. That's ridiculously hard to compare yourself to.
The
best scorer ever. Yeah. But what you want the way Durant takes over games by just being just unstoppable. That's what you want from Tatum. Do that. I'm not saying you can do at that level, but that's the type of player you want him to be. It's impossible to be at that level because there's only one Kevin Durant. But Durant is not great because he's improved, because he has more assists one year, or he improved this. That's what makes him great. He's an absolute force. He's 6'10". He can't be stopped. Tatum has a lot of the stuff, there to be. I don't know. I want to say similar, but in that mold of a player.
Yeah, there's parallels. It's not exact just because of the height difference there and the length difference. Yeah. There's certain things Durant's going to be able to do, such as shooting over pretty much everybody, playing the 5 a lot. I don't think Tatum plays the 5 at all. So those are the key differences just in terms of what Durant can do across the board compared to Tatum, who I think at just a little bit shorter, is going to have to really be a lockdown guy on the wing, which Durant isn't anymore. Durant's going to slide over the 5, defend the rim a little bit. Yep. He was not the same defender last year, but Tatum's going to have to do those things because he's not 7 feet, and he's not going to be able to play inside like a Durant and shoot over guys to that degree.
It's different, but he still can. He's got a wingspan, and he is, he's a 6'8", and he's extremely long. And, it's, again, nobody is 7 foot shooter like Durant, with that kind of athleticism and ability to get a shot off.